Hi, my name is Gabby.
Hi, my name is Louise.
Hi, my name is enobong ukpong.
I'm a drama student in my final year.
I'm an open studies student in drama 573 Brahms class.
I'm in drama 573, and this is our assumptions project. What are some assumptions people make about you?
Well, I think it has a lot to do with the roles that I play. I'm a drama student. I'm an emerging playwright. I'm also, I work at ATP. I'm a grandma. And I also am a managing production manager. So I think that people lay assumptions on me according to what I'm doing at the time, the role that I'm playing. That's part of it.
What are some assumptions people make about you?
I guess I've had stuff like about because I'm Nigerian. I'm not like as because like you know it's like a third world country, so you don't know as much about the world because you're Nigerian. And it's like, what are some assumptions people make about you?
I think people assume that I'm really mean, and I'm afraid that people assume that I'm.
What would you think about?
I think it obviously derives from like insecurity for sure.
Why do you believe people make these assumptions?
Just because mostly I've kind of heard them, like not directly, but like a lot of them has been implied. Especially when I came here, like people would be like, people would like ask me if I've ever been on a plane before, when like you have to like fly to Canada to like arrive in Canada. That's weird, and especially like from my parents as well. Like they warn me about like, because you're black, because you're this, you might have to deal with this. So I had to like kind of like ready myself like in advance for like what might happen as well. So
a few years ago, we were in an organization called FLC, and we were asked to do a production on ageism. And so we did. We did a devised production called More Than a Number. And it was a humorous look at ageism. And as a retired person, I hadn't really thought about it. But I got into this book. It's called This Chair Rocks. It's a manifesto against ageism by Ashton Applewhite. And I was actually quite shocked because when I read about ageism, it had a lot of the qualities that you hear about in sexism and racism. And so I really had to think about that. Did that apply to me? And I thought, yes, yeah, it does. Now people are looking at me differently now that I'm older. So the ageism, I started to think of people the way they think of older people as forgetful, and they can't find things, they're fragile, their health is poor, so they're dependent on the health system. People assume that they're right-wing in their thinking, narrow-minded, things like that they just, and weak, physically weak. That was one of the things. So, so that's when I started to realize that people do assume things about seniors, and that I personally am reacting to it.
why do you believe people make these assumptions?
I think I make a lot of the decisions based on what's happened to me in the past. So I don't have to think too deeply. I don't have to spend too much time with a person. I can make a quick assumption and then go. I think these assumptions came from, because it was your parents, right?
Yeah, parents, like television, the internet, so kind of like that trifecta of like influence. Have you caught yourself making assumptions about other people?
Yes, and it's actually a huge problem. I find that assumptions, for me at least, derive from insecurity, and a lot of times I make assumptions about others because I'm judging them, right? Because I'm insecure about myself, so I feel like I have to, you know, maybe subconsciously I'm like, I need to make myself feel better by tearing them down. So I make assumptions about everyone, and it's bad because it's not something I want to do, but it's not something I consciously am doing. And when I catch myself doing it, I'm like, why am I doing this?
What do you think might help assumptions of yourself?
Well, probably getting help.
We all need help.
I just thought, like the last time I talked to a counselor, he was talking about the triangle of assumptions where, you know, we assume something about ourselves and it stops us, right? And so to get into the habit of just questioning, is that really true? You know, does everybody in this room hate me? About it rationally, they don't even know me, how could they hate me, right? But that's what's going through my mind, you know, like something that's really irrational like that, right?
I actually went through a lot of change in the last year. I went from feeling like I can't do anything because I was so my anxiety consumed me. When I started working in the warehouse, everything I thought about myself kind of was flipped on its feet, because I used to not be able to lift 5 pounds because it was just too much for me. And now I find myself I can easily carry 20 pounds. I can walk, 15,000 steps every day and still have energy after. I feel like I've challenged myself in a way that I didn't think I could before.
So how do these assumptions affect your day-to-day life today?
I would say that I feel like I'm more political than I was when I first came here. Cause being exposed to new ideas and having I feel like I have to have a ready a whole list of rebuttals to common racist things in my head. So I'm very much more political now. But at the same time, I feel like I have more nonchalance kind of to me, because I'm oh, well, if they assume this, well, who cares, right? Because I have to at the same time.
That sounds exhausting.
It kind of was at first, but now that I'm used to it, I'm just yeah. I guess that helps you with self-esteem, knowing about things that they said are not true, obviously.
So how do you react to assumptions? Do you attempt to disprove or confirm them in any way?
I feel like I'm always trying to be oh, I'm actually really smart, and I feel like I'm always trying to be the smartest person in the room, and it's really annoying. But I feel like that pretty much. I feel like I try to disprove them too much. It comes off as trying too hard. But yeah. What is the best way to prevent yourself from making assumptions about other people?
I basically think that you have to take the time to ask questions about a person, to try to figure out where they're coming from and who they are, instead of making these snap judgments based on their age, the color of their skin, their sex, all of those things. The questions, when you start asking questions, they become a person to you, personal. And I think that I personally have to question the assumptions I have about what a senior can and can't do. I have to think that through each time I tell myself that I can't do something. I have to think it